Savion Williams out of TCU is one of the most underrated prospects in all of 2025 NFL draft. Listed at 6'3", 230, Savion Williams is one of the best athletes, certainly in this class, and one of the better athletes that I've watched in recent years. He's currently ranked at my wide receiver 3 in this class, only behind Luther Burden and Ted McMillan. I think he should be getting way more hype than he is. He's not really getting talked about in the national media or in the fantasy community. I think he should be getting looks in the mid to early first round. Even I'm super high on this guy. The route running ability that he has at his massive frame is it's really advanced. You don't see it in a lot of prospects. He understands the nuances and leverages, the rocker steps. The start-stop ability at his size is especially impressive. There have been talks about the drop issues. I understand that point of view. But I think they're focus drops, not necessarily ability related. Clearly, as you can see, that the hands are there, or as you will see in this cut-up. I think that's an easy issue to iron out, and it will get fixed at the next level. He has a lot of versatility. He's played a lot at both receiver and running back. He's a great runner as well as a receiver. He's going to add a huge layer to an NFL offense. He's going to be able to play in different positions. He's going to get a lot of manufactured PPR production from a fantasy standpoint. He's going to be really valuable through that lens. He has no issues beating press. He's explosive out of his breaks. He just has a lot of traits that you really don't see in guys of his archetype or his frame, usually guys that are massive athletes at 6'3", 230. Just really impressive prospect. Now, the main knock on Savion Williams, aside from his drop issues, has been his lack of production in a pretty long career at TCU. Only putting up 60 receptions for 600 yards and 6 touchdowns through the air at TCU. And I understand that perspective, but as you're going to see when we get into the film that we're going to break down today, he's had some abysmal quarterback play at TCU. And people really don't understand the hindrance that the people around you can have on your production stats. And I think this guy is a victim of some terrible quarterback play and having another NFL caliber receiver opposite of him in Jack Beck, who's taken up a lot of the target share as well. So I personally, if you've watched my involvement in the mock drafts here at FCR or any of my other videos, I don't put a lot of weight behind production stats. I think they can be skewed by a multitude of factors, and that's what's happening with Savion Williams. He's a guy who's clearly a top prospect on film. It doesn't necessarily translate to the stat sheet because he has to have somebody to get him the ball, which isn't really happening at TCU. But I think this guy his value extends way beyond what you see on the stat sheet. That being said, without further ado, let's get into the film. This thing off, we're going to start off in the SMU game. This is actually a pretty quiet one from Savion compared to the other two games on this cut-up. He wasn't super heavily involved, and they this wasn't a particularly close game either, so there was just a little bit less involvement due to that. But also Jack Beck, the other TCU receiver, who hopefully I'll have a video on at some point during this draft season because he's really impressive too. Handled a lot more of the pass game production. But starting on this first play, you're going to have a jet sweep from Savion coming off the screen over here on the right. And you'll just really see the explosive burst right there. The guy he hits top speed so quickly on these guys, and just the explosion when he kicks into that second gear, you can really see it just in a different league than the rest of these guys when it comes to athleticism, especially his size, which is really impressive. And on the second play, you're going to see that start-stop ability I've been talking about that is just so ridiculously impressive for being a guy that's 6'3", 230, to be able to break down and sink his hips like he does. Just so fast, such a good athlete. And the ability to beat press right here. SMU really got up on these TCU receivers in this game. They pressed him a lot. And Savion beat him to the inside like he will on this play. He gets a really nice inside release. You're going to have a little 5-10 yard hitch. Smokes press to the inside. Just these guys could not land a punch on him. Save their life. You're going to watch him win inside right here, right across his face, and then just breaks down real quickly. He doesn't get the ball on this play. But just watching how quickly he can snap around and stop and go from full speed to, the start-stop ability, go to full speed to 60 to 0, basically. At his size is just really, really impressive. You're going to have a little bit of deja vu on this play because it's very, very similar. He's going to be on another small hitch, and he's going to beat press to the inside. This one's actually even more impressive. This corner just completely whiffs on his punch. And again, he's not going to get the ball, but just see how quickly he wins inside right there. That winning off press initially like that for a guy that's 6'3", you just don't see that. And he's like a ghost off the line. The footwork, incredibly polished. He gets that label as a raw prospect because he's, maybe a little boomer bust, great athlete. But he's extremely polished, one of the better route runners in this class. I have no problem saying that. I don't really know where some of these narratives come from. I really have not seen a lot of weakness in his game. All right, moving straight into the Oklahoma State game. Like I said, SMU game, kind of quiet, not as much. These two games, though, very involved. Some really nice reps from this in the UCF game. Starting off, he's going to be the bottom of the screen right here. He's going to run the first of those rocker steps that I was talking about, where he's going to, at the top of his stem, fake a step one way, and he really, really sells these. He's a great salesman at the top of these routes. And right here, he's going to fake a little post and get the corner to really bail that way and sell on it, and he's going to cut right back down. Again, that start-stop ability, right down into a hitch. So I'll let this play out. You can see what I'm talking about. Right here, that guy's going in motion. Gets the corner to flip his hips right there. That corner immediately thinks he's going, on a vertical skinny post. He's got to flip and get ready to get back. And then Savion's just already stopped straight out of that rocker step. So that the guy that understands nuance and leverages like this, and I know he's a little bit of an older prospect, but that there's guys well into their NFL careers that don't have this kind of understanding of the nuance of route running. And again, doesn't get the ball because TCU's quarterback is just extremely frustrating to watch. That has not been a fun part of this TCU tape. This TCU offense was so stacked with talent. Honestly, I think all three of these receivers should be NFL players. And just similar to the Michigan tape this year, if you've tried to watch like Colston Loveland or anything, the quarterback, some of these teams were just so held back by abysmal quarterback play. And on this play, you're going to see trips to the bottom of the screen in the red zone. This is actually, you're going to see this probably 3 times on this cut up alone. TCU ran this a lot in this game against Oklahoma State. They want Savion in one-on-one man coverage situations in the goal line because they know he's their guy. He's going to be, this one you're going to have a little like almost levels mesh concept. This guy's going to be on a drag. Not that these two are really that important to the play. You're going to have Savion on a little in route right here, just a sharp cut. And these poor Oklahoma State corners, they got left in one-on-one situations with no help against Savion in the red zone, just got toasted all day long. You're going to see right here, just he does have the tendency to have a little bit too many steps in his break, some wasted movement. I think that'll get worked out pretty quickly in the NFL. That's something that's easy to iron out from an NFL receivers coach. But just watch how explosive and violent this guy is out of his breaks. He makes just so much movement out of 1 or 2 steps out of these breaks. This corner is stuck on his heels, and that's 3 yards of separation straight out of a break. I mean, he's just so fast and such a good athlete, and he's strong too. He just runs through corners like they're nothing. He's a powerful runner. And here, like I was saying, you're gonna see the not the same formation or play, obviously, but the similar concept. You're gonna have Savion on another just in route in the red zone, and TCU, they're running quads bunch here at the top. They're trying to draw all the attention to the top of the screen, and it works. The whole defense has shifted to the side. This is where all their attention is. And they've got this poor Oklahoma State corner who stands no chance in one-on-one man coverage at the goal line. He's got no help anywhere. And you're going to see the exact same outcome as the last play, where the corners get stuck on their heels. And Savion just is so fast out of that break. Immediately creates separation. Another easy touchdown on a one-on-one man coverage situation. And here we're going to go back to that stop ability I've been talking about. You're going to be on another one-on-one man coverage hitch down here at the bottom of the screen. And this corner never actually turns his hips and bails. So this guy, he's in position to play this. He's already off his heels. He's breaking down on this. But because Savion's so fast, at that breakdown, even a corner that plays that route well is still not able to close that gap. And here we're going to go to, I believe, our first play of this cut up where Savion's actually lined up at running back, which is something that TCU did a lot. When you have a guy of this caliber of an athlete, they used him. I wish they'd used him a little bit more because there's a lot of drives where he's just not on the field at all. I don't really know what the coaches at TCU were doing with that. But this guy got used all around the field. I think that's something that can really translate to the next level, the NFL, an NFL offense that wants to use him in an almost like Cordell Patterson role. And he's a good enough runner for sure to be able to do that. As you're going to see on this play, they're going to run a variation of center trap. So this center is going to pull this way. And Savion, I don't want to critique his vision too much because I'm grading this guy as a receiver, not a running back. But maybe your actual, where the play is designed to go, there was a hole there. But it closes up pretty fast, and you're going to see him bounce this outside, and you're going to see that burst I've been preaching. He hits that second gear so quickly. Patient. Again, you see, if you'd watched just the plays where he's lined up at running back, you'd think you were grading a running back prospect. He's a good runner. He's an NFL-level runner who just happens to be the third best, in my opinion, receiver prospect in this whole draft. But you see him bounce this out, hits that sideline, and just kicks into that second gear. And he lines up with a corner right here, and you wouldn't think it from seeing his figure on film. This guy's 230. He's got some power. I mean, you won't see it on any of the clips on this cut up because I'm only grading 3 games. As much as I would love to have you guys sit down here and watch an hour and a half of Savion tape, and I would love to break all that down. I know you guys don't want to be here for that long. But he's a powerful runner. There's a lot of that on his tape. And you will see it on this one because he's just going to run through this corner's face. I mean, that's a receiver doing that. That's pretty rare. And diving straight into the UCF game, which was far and away his best game of 2024 tape that I've watched easily. They used him a lot in the passing game as a running back, which was really interesting, and I thought he worked really well for TCU's offense. It was a cool idea. It would have been executed better if you had a functional quarterback in our offense, which they didn't. But this play, you're going to see him motion out a little bit and run a little bit of a seam streak. And this linebacker right here is in man coverage on him. And he just hits him with one little inside fake, and then it's a seam streak. So he's not, it's just one little step. But he beats him vertically in one of the worst throws I've ever seen pretty easily right here. You'll see he faked that inside step. Not that this linebacker had any chance anyway, but he's already on his heels. Savion's blowing 5 yards past him. No problem. Stacks him, has already won vertically, and the ball lands about 15 yards too short, and clearly he's pretty upset about it. But, I mean, this guy, he adds so many layers to your offense. You can use him just about anywhere, and when he lands in an actual functional offense with hopefully a functional quarterback, I think you're going to really see the production issues, completely dissolve. And on this play, another one where he unfortunately doesn't get the ball again. You can see him at the very top right here on a little boundary fade, and this, he's actually going to show a little, inside right at the top of there. Just the one little steps that he does, I wouldn't call that a rocker step. It's not really a full rocker step because it's not at the top of the stem, but just the little, head fakes, the little nuances of route running that you really wouldn't think that make that much of a difference. He really understands them. He looks like a veteran. I think this is a guy that's a lot more NFL ready than he gets a rep for. And just that one little step, he's already stacked this guy. He's won vertically. He's a way better athlete than anybody else he's playing against. And that should be a touchdown. There's a lot of separation there, and it probably will be at the next level. Last two plays of this cut-up, which I believe are two of the best, not only of this cut-up, but probably of all of his college tape. This play, you're going to see him lined up as the H-back in this formation, which is another really cool layer that he's going to add to not only, he obviously added TCU's, but an NFL offense. From a purely football perspective, there's a lot of cool things you can do using him as a receiving back out of something like pistol. But just, the versatility that he adds to an offense. But from a fantasy perspective, the amount of manufactured production you're going to get from him in screens, gimmicky plays like this, especially from a PPR standpoint, is going to add, a lot of value to him as a prospect, I believe. But you're going to see him run a little motioned out wheel out of this H-back formation. And this play is a great example of something we haven't really seen from this video or this cut up yet, is his ability at the catch point. And for a guy that's 6'3", and this great of an athlete, there is a high ceiling for his ability at the catch point. And you're going to see this right here. This is, double coverage. This should not, it's not open. Shouldn't be a catch. And just look at that. And I'll show it so you can see it a little bit better on the tight copy from the actual catch point. But this is just an unreal catch and adjustment. Right here. Look at that. I mean, he is, way up there in double coverage. Just the ability to high point and put up your hands late. That's another veteran quality that you really don't see in a lot of these prospects, is the ability to flash your hands late so you don't give away anything at the catch point. He's great at that, and just an unreal adjustment and an ability to get up at the catch point. Heading into the last play of this cut-up, which is just as, if not more impressive than the last one, you're going to see just, again, isolated bottom of the screen in man coverage. That's how they use him a lot. He's going to be on a post route right here. But you're going to see, again, I've been preaching the rocker steps. This is Teach tape. This is the best one on his tape for sure, and the best one that I've seen in a while. He starts off in the stem. He's going to work this corner fake in the stem. He's going to attack the corner's outside shoulder, got his hips opened up, sells the rocker step right there, that one outside step that makes it look like he's running a corner route. This DB is all the way out of the play. He's completely has no chance at playing the rest of this. Savion's already crossed his face. And look at that separation. I mean, Savion's got nothing but grass this way. This corner looks like he's playing a cloud flat over here. Just an unbelievable route. And then a ridiculous adjustment at the catch point. This guy's, his athleticism and his body control is unbelievable. And they don't run a lot of boundary concepts with him, so you don't get to see the body control maybe on the sideline like you would want to, at least not in this cut up. But he clearly has the ability right here, and you can see it a little bit better on the tight copy. But so he's already, smoked the DB, created an unreal amount of separation. And then his quarterback, who's done him no favors his entire career at TCU, throws this ball. I mean, look at that. throws this ball about 4 yards behind him, and he manages to stop all of his momentum, completely flip around, and dive the other way, the way that he was running from. Just an unreal catch. All right, and that was just a little bit of Savion Williams' 2024 TCU tape. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I think this guy is a really valuable addition in Dynasty drafts. He's going to add a lot of value to your fantasy teams next season. I think he's a really underrated prospect who should be getting a lot more attention in the national media. And maybe it'll pick up as the draft process goes on. We're still a little bit early. But certainly one of my guys that I'm a lot higher than consensus on so far in the draft. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe to FTR. Be sure to leave a comment. I always want to argue or debate about any of my takes that you may disagree with in the comments. Be sure to leave so we can talk back and forth about that. If you guys want to see more breakdowns from me personally, be sure to follow at Iron City Film on Twitter or X. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one.